and it's another chilly morning in Namibia. Today we're visiting Sesriem Canyon, and tomorrow morning we will have to have a very early start in the freezing cold.
And to ensure that you get notified of our future adventures, please remember to like, subscribe and hit that bell icon and you'll get notified. Thank you very much to our patrons. It's your support that make these videos possible.
You can see, I don't know if you see the steam. It's like 8:30 and it's still a little bit chilly. And we'll be visiting that Vlei and the big famous dune. I think it's dune number 45. We'll still have to figure out why the dunes are numbered.
Sesriem Canyon is a great place to hike. Corinne took her time to enjoy the great landscape. The name is derived because you had to join 6 belts if you want to draw water from the bottom to the top. Therefore 6 belts, Sesriem. The canyon permanently contains water, so it was a great source of water in the dry, arid landscape. So we set up camp and got ready for early start the next morning. And we were up at 5:30 as the gates opened at 6:30 to try and get to Sossusvlei and get the best light possible. We're not really morning persons, but it was well worth it. Corinne had the opportunity to take a walk through the dunes and follow the crest with all the other hikers early the next morning. Due to COVID, it was pretty quiet and there was only about another 20 cars. It's a thick sand road from the parking lot to Sossusvlei, and that's why a lot of people use the lodge's shuttle. But Ufudu drove the sand like a champion, and we had no problems getting there and back. The sand is cooler in the mornings and it's a lot easier to drive on cold sand. Even in Sossusvlei, our constant friend the wind was with us, and it painted pretty pictures on the crests of the dunes. Our day ended as we slowly watched the shadows get longer and longer across all the dunes. It was a fantastic time in Sossusvlei before we headed through the No-Kloof Pass on the way to Walvis Bay.
We are back along the coast. Skeleton Coast going up north. We've had a lovely time in Walvis Bay and Swakopmund, assisting with our friend Toya's project at Task, feeding the kids. Hope you've watched the video, and we are heading north again along the coast. Something I've noticed in our travels in Southern and East Africa is all the honesty commerce happening along the road. A lot of people have products to sell and they just put it out next to the road. Here's a prime example, some salt crystal that's been put out, a tin where you can put your money in, you look for your wares and you just leave your money and go. And it seems to work. It's been going on. This is the second time I've seen this specific spot. We were here about 3 years ago in 2018. I will link some of our videos above if you would like to see our previous adventures and have a look at all the fantastic crystals and the honesty of people in this town. The road north along the Skeleton Coast is quite fascinating. It looks like a gravel road, maybe a tar road, but no, it's a salt and gravel road. Quite shiny, sometimes in the sunlight depending on where it was salted, but drives like a charm. Fun fact about Namibia's Skeleton Coast, you're driving on salt.
Following tips from our friends Stephen and Toya, we headed up the dry riverbeds with the absolute quiet and the desolate landscape as our company, and the clear skies with the best starlight we've ever seen before. It was great camping in these dry riverbeds with nobody around, and just the odd raptor in the skies above keeping you company. We camped for 3 days and it was some of our best camping so far. We then entered the Skeleton Coast National Park as we continued our journey north along the coast. We visited many dry and barren places, but this was the first place that we could really say nothing grows except rock and sand. So with the sea to the west and the barren landscape stretching inland to the east, we kept our hunt for shipwrecks, and we found two. One was a fishing vessel that stranded on the rocks, and the other one was very strange. In the middle of the sand, about 1 kilometer from the sea, we found this rusted oil rig. An oil rig in the middle of nowhere. So strange. And before long we had to say goodbye again to the coast when we ran into the Spergebied and started heading inland. And we spent our last night on the Skeleton Coast just outside Springbok Vlakte, camping at a dry watering hole before we headed to one of the most special places that we visit in Namibia, the only place that we visited 3 times in the past. It was a hot spring and a natural source with a pool called Ongongo waterfalls. A great place to come and refresh after a long time in the dry desert. We could swim and just chill for a few days. Corinne had a whale of a time here, and we also had the pleasure of sharing a pool with some terrapins. One is called Albert and his family. In total we saw 6 terrapins under the water, but there could possibly be many, many more. It was a great place to relax in the middle of the desert. And then it was time to say goodbye to this little oasis. On Gongo Falls we will definitely see you again, as you are a refreshing change in the middle of the barren landscape. And we were turning our noses north again, towards one of the most challenging but most rewarding parts of our current adventure. So please come back next time if you want to see how our adventures unfold in Namibia. As next time on Phyllis on 4 Wheels, we head into Hoekaveld to find the stone men, we run into some car trouble, and we return some lost property as we head north towards Marienfluss. And to ensure that you get notified of our future adventures, please remember to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon, and you'll get notified. Thank you very much to our patrons. It's your support that makes these videos possible.